All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the NerdCorp Podcast. This is your one and only source for all things nerdy, whether it be video games, comic books, TV shows, whatever you need, we got your back. I am your host, as always. My name is Matt Hedrick, and here with me, as always, is my good friend, at least I think of him like that. That's Chad Porto. How are you, sir?
I'm writing a sitcom starring Tim Allen and Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal. I'm going all right.
It's always good times when you're thinking of stuff like that, right?
Would it be better to do that or Seinfeld with Sweet Tooth, where Sweet Tooth is Kramer and he just bursts through the door like jiggling? Jerry, did it again. You killed the downstairs neighbor? Okay, I did something different. Killed the upstairs neighbor? Yep.
Oh, my God.
And I ate his dog, too. And then I ate him. And then I coughed him up. And then I ate him again. Why would you do that? Jerry, this is a one-episode pilot. Yeah? I'm going to eat you, too. Why would you do that? Because you're not funny. Kramer comes bursting through the door. Racist! And then he eats him, too. Elaine shows him, just quietly walks away. Next shot, she's walking down the street and you just hear, "Good call, Elaine."
Could you imagine him and George fighting? Oh, God.
No, George is already dead. The end of the
George is the first person he killed.
The end of the 4.5-minute pilot, because he legitimately just kills all the actors. It's him going to the soup Nazi, and the guy going, "No soup for you." And then Sweet Tooth goes, "I kill everyone I hate, and I hate everyone, but I really hate Nazis." And then he eats them. I don't know why Sweet Tooth eats people. I'm taking some creative liberties. I'm all right with that. Shows up on Who's the Boss, bursts through the door. "Tony Danza, I love you." Then he just kind of like quietly backs out of the house, staring at Tony Danza the entire time. "Hey, Angela, what the hell was that?" You just hear from across the street, "No!" And then Sweet Tooth is all like, "Come back here, Chachi. No one loves you."
Oh my God! Like, how many fucking sitcoms?
All of them
at this point. Jesus Christ!
Do you know who finally stops him? You'll never guess. You'll never guess. I want you to guess.
I would never guess,
just
dude.
Think about the one sitcom character in the last 30-odd years that might throw down with Sweet Tooth.
Fuck me, I have no idea.
Just take a guess. Just pick someone.
Are we talking like 90s sitcoms? Or
anyone from the last 30 years, 80s to now.
Shit. Like, the only one I think of that would even come close would be Tim Allen with the power tools.
Yeah, I mean, I get no. It doesn't really no. Alf.
Well, I'm trying. Alf, really?
Hey,
okay.
You like eating cats? I like eating everything. I like eating cats. I think you're kind of weird. I'm an alien. They're real. Yeah, I am one. Oh, I gotta find Fox Mulder. You know where he is? Oh, I know where he is. It's just about getting him back out. I ate him. Oh, it's weird. You're weird. Then he just runs away because he's a little fucking puppet. But then the aliens from Melmac land on Sweet Tooth, and that's how the episode ends.
Oh my God, dude. You think of some morbid shit in your time. I didn't say free time because you don't have any, but good Lord.
How do you think I get through my day? No, the best one, like straight up, it's a twofer. So you combine Family Matters. I think that's right because there's so many two-named shows I just get confused. I think it's Family Matters with Urkel, right?
Yep, that's Family Matters.
Okay. Family Ties is with Michael J. Fox, I think. So you have Urkel, and then you have Full House's Kimmy Gibbler, and they're dating. And Sweet Tooth,
God,
yeah, and Sweet Tooth busts down the door and sees them together, and he just starts freaking out. "No, one of you, not both. No!" And then Urkel does his dumbass hand it out, and Gibbler does her terrible ass voice, and then Sweet Tooth's head just explodes. And that's when you do the Urkel did I do that. The two most annoying characters in 90s sitcom history. Oh, wait, no, I forgot Cody from Step by Step.
Oh, man, you had to bring him into it. Ugh.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of great family shows. Like, Family Matters, like, yeah, it's respect. With the San Francisco, the Full House, good. Boy Meets World, obviously. Sean Hunter is gonna throw down with it's Sean Hunter and Mr. Turner are the ones who finally cap Sweet Tooth for good. But like. Step by Step is the only one that doesn't have the good father dynamic because Cody is the dude's nephew, I think, and he makes Cody live in the driveway. Like that's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a good kid. Sure. He's just dumb. It's not like he's bringing in heroin dealers. Like he's just a little bit of an aloof douche. No reason to hate the guy. Step by Step fails as a show on every level. Speaking of failing on every level, Sony TV is trying to bring Twisted Metal to a series on I don't know what network.
Yeah, I don't think I really clearly defined that. Honestly.
They're using Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, the writers of Deadpool and Zombieland. I mean, it's got potential. I'm not going to say it's a bad idea off the bat.
No.
I still think it would be more of a intriguing idea to put Sweet Tooth in revived sitcom pilots. I think that's
far more interesting.
That's the money. Like how does Sweet Tooth deal with Silver Spoon, right? Does Emmanuel Lewis, I don't even know if Emmanuel Lewis is still alive, but does Emmanuel Lewis survive the trappings of Sweet Tooth? Is Sweet Tooth really the boss?
Dude, I was just thinking if you threw him in a silver spoon, we would never get Carlton. He probably would kill Carlton beforehand.
Carlton's not on Silver Spoons.
Isn't he? I thought he was in that show.
Was he?
Alfonso Ribeiro, yeah. I'm pretty sure he was in that show, yeah.
Yeah. He must have been real young then, because that was early 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if he shows up in Silver Spoons and doesn't kill Alfonso Ribeiro, that means we still get Alfonso Ribeiro in that McDonald's commercial from like 2005. That's all I'm really worried about.
Or shows that nobody watches anymore, like America's Funniest Home Videos.
I still watch it. No, I don't.
Do you really?
No.
I was going to say, what?
No, not at all. They need to do like a crossover show where like Alfonso Ribeiro, Tim Allen, Tony Danza, the guy who played Sean Hunter, I think his name was something Ryder, in Boy Meets World, Urkel, Punky Brewster. They already brought her back for her new show, so I mean that's already easy enough. And then do like some type of team up where they're all like part of a record label or something dumb.
I was gonna say, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Making like the sitcom Avengers over there?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Yes. Are you excited about the idea of a Twisted Metal TV show?
I am intrigued. I far honestly like your idea way more than just another one of these like dark brooding shows, but I understand that's where they're gonna go. The idea of bringing writers for like Zombieland and Deadpool is kind of interesting. As long as the humor coincides more with Deadpool 1 than with 2, because 2 was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some hope for the series. The last game I actually played was Black. I didn't really the most recent one I tried it. I didn't really like it. So, but I do see potential for a kind of a dark, like, I hope there's like dark humor in it. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it's not just like another one of those like everything is bleak, we're an apocalyptic shit and everything's doom and gloom. Like, have a sense of humor to it, man. This fucking shit is about crazy stuff as it is. Why not go that route? So yeah, I see potential there for something entertaining.
I played the first one. I'm clearly a big fan of the franchise. I'm clearly a big fan of it. Speaking of franchises, Vampire Bloodlines 2, or Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, Electric Boogaloo, has been delayed out of 2021 and pulled from the Hardsuit Labs studio. Publisher Paradox Interactive has announced, and this is because it was a difficult decision, but we are convinced that this is the right way forward to do the game justice. And we have started to collaborate with a new studio partner to finish work on the game. It stopped pre-orders. Delay and change of the lead developer extends to a tribute period for Bloodlines 2, which already saw its creative director and lead narrative designer fired from the project last year. In August, lead narrative designer Brian Mistuda told Rock Paper Shotgun, that's an interesting title, that he had been suddenly terminated. At the time, Hardsuit and Paradox said industry veteran Alexandre Mandrakska has joined the project as creative consultant, filling the role previously held by outgoing creative director Kai Clooney. Mandraka was formerly studio design director at Relic Entertainment and Ubisoft, where he also served as creative director and helped reboot the Rainbow Six franchise. Rebooted into what? Because I have some questions.
All right.
Because the Rainbow Six franchise used to be the tits. Now it's just the worst. Then last June, publisher Paradox distanced itself from writer Chris Avallone following a number of sexual harassment allegations. So here we are. The company who, don't know what they're doing. Sounds like a viable outlet. Can't wait to not play this game. Matt, any thoughts before we move on? Because it's fucking stupid.
I honestly brought this one up because it's just like this. It's a big clusterfuck of a mess. Like they had this game planned out the developers had this game planned out for like 5 years. They were working on it, and then all of a sudden they just get dropped when they were supposed to release this twice already. And I didn't not known much about this game, and based on where its development cycle is going, I honestly, it's if you're changing developers this far into it. Do you even bother at this point? Would you cancel it or would you finish the work? Because I don't know if it's worth it.
It depends how much money you've already put into it. Mm-hmm. And here's the rationale. Let's say you put $30 million into it right now. And let's say that to finish it and to produce it and get it out into the stores and on streaming services, it'll cost another $10 million. You're looking at $40 million. Let's say that you already know that it's not going to do it well and that it's going to top out at maybe $20 million. It may not seem worthwhile to do it, but if you're trying to mitigate losses financially, by not putting it out, you eat $30 million. By putting it out, you could stand to eat $20 million. So you can take $10 million off the books in debt, so to speak, by putting out a bad game. Now, the thing that goes hand in hand with doing that, again, the numbers are speculative. They're just for instance. The issue that comes with this is if the game is really bad, it could destroy your image. So, is like the difference in amount of money that you'd be saving or getting back worth the destroyed reputation? I don't know. I think that's an internal discussion that you're going to need to have with yourself. Now, if you can make a game that's good and you're still expected to lose money, but you'll still make excuse me. Excuse me. But you'll still take some debt off the books by releasing it, and the game's good, well, then, yeah, it's a no-brainer. You do it, and then, okay, it didn't make any money, but your reputation is saved. So there are reasons to do it, but, it has to kind of make sense.
I think my main issue is that with everyone else that's put work into it, and they're not going to, I mean, of course they'll get compensated for it and everything, but the vision of where it's going to go and what they wanted for it as the end product, it might not turn out to be good, and being able to recoup those losses, that might not happen. There's always that possibility that sticks out there. So,
well, there are people who specialize in market trajectories, and they'll tell you we're estimating far less for this game than what we could get back for it. So if you're $40 million in the hole or $30 million in the hole, and you'll go to $40 million in the hole to release the game, but the game's only going to make $8 million, that means had you not released the game, you would have had $30 million in the hole, and had you released the game, you ended up with $32 million in the hole. It would make sense then to not release the game, especially if it's bad. But it's all about trying to figure out, financially where you are, how much the game can bring back in, how much you've already put into it. What's the viability of it long term? Will it hurt there's so many different factors that go into releasing a product. that it would be too long-winded for me to go through every reason why they should or shouldn't do it. So.
Oh no, I understand this. But you definitely for sure do not want to turn this into a cyberpunk situation again.
Well, Cyberpunk is reviving the game slowly through updates and whatnot. And it's not even a bad game. It was just overhyped. And the problem is, I think fans are more willing to give a game that's bad a second chance as long as it wasn't overhyped. Because when a game is overhyped, it almost feels more akin to being lied to as a fan. And I think there are going to be people who are like, listen, you told us all these things the game can do, and then you didn't deliver, and now we're pissed. As opposed to saying, this game might be good, it wasn't, but now it is. Oh, that's cool, the game is good now, let's have fun. So it's about so many, again, it's so many factors that go into this. How hard are you promoting it? What are you saying that this game can do? What are you saying that this game can't do? What new or old features are you bringing into the game? Like, it's so long-winded that it doesn't go, it's just, we don't have the time, the energy, or the desire, for at least I don't, to really determine if this game should be released or not, because there's too many factors. If the game is still good and you won't go in the hole any more than you already are, then release the game. Because at that point, you can at least salvage something. Yeah, so, speaking of salvaging, Anthem, which came out in 2019.
Oh, man.
Fucking hell. Is already or was already going to be rebooted by BioWare, but BioWare has said, nah, we're not going to do that, but we're going to still go and do the current system that's going on. And yeah, our entire lifespan of this franchise is just ruined completely. So, yeah, this is what you get for rushing out a game that's not ready.
Might as well use those discs as coasters now, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We got 2 state of plays, or technically 1 state of play, because name branding, everything. First up is Sony state of play. We get Final Fantasy Remake, the integrated reveal trailer. I don't know what this is. Is this like the second part of the game?
The way I saw it was since part 2 is not out yet, they're doing an upgrade to the PS5 for the original version, and they're adding an exclusive story-based mission, like an extra mission to that version. That includes I want to. Do you say Yuffie or Yuffie?
I say Yuffie, but it could be Yuffie.
Okay.
The Yoofster.
But it includes her.
Fufu.
And the weirdest thing about it too is when I was watching the trail, watching this reveal thing, because this was supposedly this was capping off their show.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was their big thing to end it off, and they're showing graphical comparisons, and I'm like, the PS4 looks better. Each fucking time it looks better, dude.
They usually do early on because they're still trying to figure out the best way to use the new graphical power. I'm not gonna get anything with Resident Evil. God damn it, Final Fantasy VII for some time because this franchise could honestly be rebooted all the way through the PS6. I'm not buying this game 12 times over, man. I already bought it twice in my life. I'm not doing it a third fucking time until I can get all of it. And they're not even they just got out of Midgar.
Right?
Like, you're looking at least, I don't know, 5 updates at that point?
Fuck. Well, if you haven't, I'm assuming you have bought this version, though. Have you or not?
No, I played it, though.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if you hadn't bought it yet, they're adding it as a PlayStation Plus game for the month of March for, anybody who's subscribed to it if they are interested in playing it.
Again,
so you can get it for that subscription. I know you're not going to do it, but it's just throwing it out there.
Let's see what else we got. Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I like the animation. Don't care about the game. Returnal Deep Dive shows more of Housemarque's upcoming PS5 game. Oh, it looks so realistic. I can't wait to ignore it when it comes out because it's a terrible game.
What's another one of those fucking the fuck are those things called? Roguelikes or something like that are just like swarming gaming nowadays. So it's like I don't need another one, even if it's in third person.
What the hell is roguelite? Like, what are you talking about?
It's a concept of a game where it's like a procedural generation idea where you
Give me a
play a
game
game
example.
and okay, let's see. The best example I can give
If you say Heavy
possibly
Rain,
is
I'm
like
coming for you. I'm coming for you like
no
the
no no no
goddamn
no
devil
no
out
no
of hell.
no. I
Heavy
was trying to
Rain
think
does
of
things to me.
no, God, no, not like that. There's a couple of games that have done it recently. One was called Dead Cells. There was one we played called Wizard of Legend. It was kind of like that, where the
Oh,
levels themselves are the
like
same.
so it's kind of like Super Meat Boy, not Super Meat Boy. Binding of Isaac, where like the levels change every time you play it.
Right.
Okay. I hate those games.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say I liked them either, and like I do like some aspects of them to a degree, but again, it's one of those not having the end goal in sight and having it take so long to just repeat the same shit over and over again. It gets annoying. You know.
And which game is that for? The Bridge of Spirits or the
No, that's
House
Returnal.
Marks?
You were Returnal.
Returnal
The
Deed.
Housemark one. Yeah.
Okay. We got a announcement that, and probably a trailer, although I haven't watched the video, so I don't know if it's a trailer or not. Oddworld Soulstorm. I like the graphics I'm seeing so far, so that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
We got a Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time PS5 version announcement. Multiplayer dodgeball game, Knockout City. Ooh.
Actually interested in that one, huh?
I like dodgeball. I like dumb, stupid violence. I got a thing for big coiffed Elvis hair. You're
You
tickling
see,
some
like
fancies. You're tickling some fancies.
you see, like that. Sometimes you really surprise me with certain like things you get excited for. You know,
If I
like
don't, then like, what's the point of life? Now here's the problem.
okay.
I just turned on the trailer. Without even seeing anything about this, I already know it's a multiplayer game. You're going to need to have the PS
Yeah.
Plus. You're going to need to have some type of yearly subscription to the game, and it's going to be stupid. So, I mean, I love the concept. I love the animation. I love it's kind of like Meet the Robinsons style animation with like the technology.
Mm.
But I'm gonna hate having to play a multiplayer online game. So like, fuck it. Like you almost had me. 3 out of 4 ain't bad, kid. But you needed 4 out of 4 to get the perfect and to get a purchase. So
You would have thought you thought this would have like instantly appealed to me with the weird setup and stuff like that too. But like, yeah, that always just multiplayer shit. Yeah, I'm out too.
I don't think much about what you think.
You never do,
Nope.
and I guess that's why we're friends. I don't know. That's a weird thing to say.
Absolver developer Slow Clap. I hope you got out of business. Reveals Saifu for PS4 and PS5. It seems to kind of have like a polygonal, cell shaded thing going on. I guess that's cool. I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe.
It's kind of a weird approach to like a beat 'em up almost. It's like it's a beat 'em up done from a third person view. It looks like, and I could be okay with that. But again, it's that same genre like we were talking about with the Housemark game,
Mm-hmm.
where there's no progression. It's just randomly procedurally generated shit. And I'm like, all right, well you had me in an idea, but pass on that too, I guess.
Hyperlight Drifter developer Heart Machine Solar Ash arrives on PS4 and PS5 in 2021. What is this? Some kind of like Jet Force, Jet Boot, or whatever that skating game was called.
It's not like really a reboot of that. Their first game was called Hyperlight Drifter. It was kind of like it was like a top-down like adventure type of game. Like had some ideas similar to like Zelda, but just a little faster paced. And this one's more just kind of a straight up 3D platformer, moves like fast, kind of like a Sonic game, but you're just instead of like actually like moving like through rings and stuff like that, you're kind of pulling yourself to different parts of the environment. I think it looks pretty cool actually, and I might give it a try if it's at a good price point.
It looks like the platforming version of No Man's Sky. I don't think that's going to help them.
Well, as long as it's better than No Man's Sky, I'll be fine with that.
No Man's Sky got really good, man. You gotta find a new game to trash on. At least that's what I'm told.
It did, and I can't. It did. It really did. It got better over time, and I'm not gonna sit here and ignore that. But aren't like first impressions everything with games though? Or is that not a thing?
No, more or less sex.
Okay.
Here's the thing with first impression. If we're talking 1995, yeah, I'd agree with you. First impressions are everything. But we so rarely ever get a released, finished game on launch.
This is true.
Everything's a beta or an alpha or a Charlie or a Tango version of the game. So no, it no longer matters because developers no longer have a clue what they're fucking doing. We'll just it's not finished yet, so we'll just put it out anyway. It's brilliant.
So is it better to be patient to see what things will become then?
Yes. It's always better to be
okay. All right.
First gameplay of Five Nights at Freddy's. Security breach revealed. They turned one of the. I'm just looking at the image on the screen. It looks like they turned one of the animatronics into a drag queen. Did this animatronic go on RuPaul's drag show and win? You remember how everyone was doing the Koopa toadstool thing, Koopa Peach thing, where like they turned Bowser into a chick, but it was just Princess
like
Toadstool.
Bowsette or something like that, right?
But it was just like Princess Toadstool with a hat or something like that, and like she became like
I think Caddy did a video on that too, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay. Just trying to I'm just trying to remember.
God damn,
it's the way I remember.
God damn,
it's the way I remember. Dude.
Shut up. God damn, you bringing him up. Because I was going to do the whole fucking joke with the piano, but you just wouldn't let me have it. This thing looks creepy as fuck, but it's going to be like an internet sex symbol for some reason. I really don't. Like it looks like Chitara and what was the white tiger from fucking the Beast Wars called? They look like they had a baby, and it's horrifying. Fucking
You're talking about a franchise I know nothing about.
I'm talking about two franchises you don't know nothing about. Deathloop trailer gets new look at the stylish game from Arcane Studios. I like the look. I don't know what this is. It's probably going to be... how old am I? Fuck you, that's how old I am. What's the numerical place for F? E, F, 6. And then U is a lot. 69. And nice. So graphics are it's a first person game. God damn it. Why? I don't care anymore. All right, fuck this article. We're done. All right, that takes us to
dude. Damn.
I'm done with first persons, man. Like I want to you give me like cool looking character, black dude with this cool duster and he's got like little pieces of flair on his duster jacket. All right, I can roll with that. Like that's a design. Like, ooh, that's fancy. But then you go first person. What was the point? What was the point?
You feel like it takes away from any ideas they were trying to represent?
I'm saying it. You don't need to decipher my intention. I'm saying it. What's the fucking point of having a cool character if you can't look at him?
I have felt that way about every first-person shooter game I've ever played.
Like Halo 5, you look like a giant fucking celery stick with a visor. You ain't missing anything. James Bond, he's in a suit. I wonder what he looks like. He looks like James Bond. Pick one.
Dude, I'm never going to think about veggies the same way again the way you described Master Chief. What the fuck?
Veggie Tales, Veggie Tales, Veggie Tales. I don't know the name of the fucking... I don't know the lyrics of the goddamn...
Cross promotion with Master Chief now. What the fuck?
Masturbation Chief more like. Oh!
Oh, God. No way.
Have you enjoyed the new sex toy products by VeggieTales? They're all vegetable-shaped vibrators and dildos. Get the carrot today.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Keep rubbing But she won't knock down her walls. Keep rubbing. But she isn't going to fall. It's plain to see. Your penis is very small. To think rubbing will be knocking down her walls.
This is bad because now I'm eating healthier, and every time I'm gonna look at vegetables now, it's the only thing I'm gonna think of is these fucking songs you come up with. You goddamn asshole! I'm gonna be thinking about it. I'll be humming that shit, and people looking at me like, "What the fuck are you singing?"
There it is.
It's something incredible. Just live with it.
It is incredible. I am incredibly play. We get Pokemon the Pokening. I don't know why we needed a Pokemon press conference in 2021. They announced brilliant. Oh my god! Why? Okay, I thought these were new games. They're remastered games, aren't they? Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
There is only one new game, but the reason why they are doing this is because this is the 25th year of Pokemon.
No, they've been ruining childhood for 25 years.
And enslaving other creatures, right?
Right? Slavery's fun, kids. Fight animals in the woods, take them away from everything they've ever known, and then force them to battle like dogs.
You know, I've told people that
Nintendo.
They think I'm overreacting to that idea. Like, how am I overreacting to that? That is literally the concept.
Well, you have to remember, this is I guess Pokemon Company is not the same as Nintendo. But you got to remember,
right?
Nintendo is the same fucking studio that thought racist American stereotypes of Italians would be a great idea for a video game franchise. They weren't wrong. It's made gangbusters, but it's still not anything but racist.
Same goes true for Pokemon. Enslaving these things isn't like good, but it makes money.
Like, you're not domesticating these animals. You're literally training them to fight each other. Now, granted, shonens, I think, is the term for Japanese battle animations. Like, they're very popular. Dragon Ball Z's, you got your Horiguchi, or that's not the name of the goddamn show. It's the one where he dies and he goes to hell and he's a detective and now he has to fight people all the time. Whatever that one's called. You got your My Hero Academias, your Ronin Warriors. You know, you got Gundams with the big battle mechs and they're battling each other in the big battle mechs. So like Japanese people love crazy shit that fights each other. It's clearly a demographic there. And they're tentacle anime for whatever reason. So, I understand why Pokemon became a success story, and I know why Pokemon became successful in America. They're adorable. But, yes, and I'm not advocating for a boycott. I'm not saying they should stop making it. But they literally are just making, animals fight each other for fun. That's literally dogfighting. Like, there's you can't argue against it.
No.
So whatever.
There's always been aspects of these games that have been appealing to me, like the fact that they're kind of like role-playing exploration type of games. There's collection aspects to it. I was always intrigued by the idea, but it's literally what it kind of stands for that I don't get behind it, and it never resonated fully with me, But to the fans who like it, I'm glad you like it. It's just not my thing. I'm just bringing it up because it's something that they're celebrating right now,
Let's talk about YouTube. So let's go into this. What'd you watch this week?
All right, let me pull up my list here. Get right into it. Okay. I guess I will start with trying to actually pronounce what SNES Drunk watched because I'm pretty sure I'll get it wrong. He talked about Ushi Totora. I want to say that's right.
That's about right.
And also Biomechanical Toy, which that's a weird looking game. Good Lord, for an arcade game, I could see myself getting into that. Like, it would be fun. I just that you got to find a way to you got to find an emulator for it. But they were both entertaining videos, and I always like how he does these deep dives into these weird games. Like, it makes me want to explore and try to maybe play something out of my comfort zone. I always give him credit for that. Let's see. I also watched Friday Night Arcade. He did a couple good videos this week about some real early RPG like handhelds even were sort of hope for Game Boy. And he also did a really strange game that I have it on the Evercade, one of my Evercade collections in that game for the time, but the gameplay from what it looks like to me just looks pretty dull and lifeless, but I do like some of the ideas in there, and it made for a funny enough video, so I like that. Let's see. We got some more of Stop Skeletons from Fighting with the Secrets of the N64 mouse. That was really fun. He always brings it with solid entertainment with that. Man of the Jedi did her Behind Her Eyes review. That was a weird. That's a weird show that I don't have any interest in seeing, but as usual, she made it entertaining. Nerd Slayer did a video on of Death of a Game for the card game Duelist, which I didn't even know was a thing. One of those online versions of a card game that had a different approach, and I can see why it failed because it's not something I would have resonated with, but it had its fans for its time. Let's see, anything else here I can honestly think of. Nah, it's about it as far as like anything relevant to the things we cover as far as this week goes. So yeah, that's about it.
I was talking and I was muted and I didn't even realize it. You forgot Stop Skeletons from Fighting's dual mouse games? Did you not watch that?
I did actually. I did mention it actually.
Well,
I
you
did. I
did.
just kind of mentioned it. I mentioned it briefly because I figured you would want to elaborate more on it.
I appreciate that because I do. I like it. I like when he does dumb shit. I really do. Like, he's the kind of guy that I'd be like, "You're such an idiot," and I would be staring at him relentlessly to see what he does next. Oh, you're so dumb.
He's the kind of guy I would hang out with, like to try out these different things. Like experimenting with old shit with your old systems is something I've always been interested in. You know, that I actually bought things based on the things he's talked about, like the whole Game Boy Advance or adapter thing to play other games. I've tried that; it's actually a lot of fun. And of course, knowing him, he would buy what didn't he try doing first person shooter games with two N64, two of them or something like that? And I'm like, dude, I would so do that easily. I would try that so hard. And the painting program I didn't even know was a thing, and makes me wonder is like, how did he get a hold of one of those disk drives? Because I believe like they were only made in Japan to my knowledge. Like only I believe so many were released in the U.S. So him getting a hold of that's really cool. And I wish I had the means to get stuff like that. You know,
Well, become popular and start a Patreon. There you go.
don't be boring, right?
Right. So another one I watched was Andy Hoops. He did a video on why Luka Doncic, probably the best player in the NBA right now, wasn't the consensus number one overall pick. It's really insightful, and it's definitely worth a look. I watched a lot of basketball videos, so definitely worth checking out if you're a fan. And then Wrestling with Regret posted the No Way Out 2001 review. It's one of the better shows of that era, and it wasn't even a major show. So if you want to do a quick recap of 2001 pro wrestling in February, at least in WWE, then that's a good video to do it with. One final thing, I bought Resident Evil 3.
Really?
Yes. Here's the problem. Every time I try to copy the information onto my hard drive, I get an error. So I did the looking, and it's one of a few things. I did all the things I can do besides replace the hard drive itself. But I also put in two games whose information I had deleted from my hard drive into the PS4. They booted up. So I don't know if it's the game or if it's something else. So I need to get my hands on another game that I've never, ever installed before and see if I can install it. Because if I can, then it's the game that's faulty. And if it's not, then it's my hard drive that's faulty. I thought
Well,
it was.
I mean,
Yes.
I was just gonna ask. Like, you bought it new, correct? Like, you didn't buy like a used copy.
No, I bought a
right?
used copy, but there's no scratches on
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Like, that's the thing. And like, I bought plenty of games over the last year or so, but all the games I bought were digital, which is ironic because I'm such a fan of physical media. So I don't know if this is a problem that I've been having for a while and I just now noticed. But if I was having a new problem with the hard drive, it wouldn't really, in theory, matter if I had a physical or digital copy because they both go onto the hard drive. So I don't know.
Yeah, the only other thing I could possibly think of, and it might not be related either, is like maybe because with games getting patches nowadays, maybe there's some patch that messed up the hard drive in one of the games possible.
I think the idea of it messing up something within Resident Evil is possible. I don't think another game's patch would have messed up Resident Evil. That doesn't make any sense. But a patch update for RE3 may have been an issue. I don't know. I updated everything and all that goodness. So I'm actually gonna ask you to drop off a game, or I can come get a game sometime in the next couple of days because I want to make sure if it's the game itself, I want to make sure I return it to get at least store credit. But if it's not the game, then I need to get a hard drive and then install it. So, but I need a game that I've never installed before. So, physically, I mean. So, I might steal one of your games. I might not. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm still in the percolating process of figuring this out.
Because it doesn't seem like it's a straight up like hard drive issue then, because if other games are working fine, then it's got to be something directly with the game you have, or maybe it's just
that would be my thought because like I put in MLB The Show 15 and NBA 2K or NBA Live 16. I haven't played those games in years. They're completely uninstalled from my console, and they both allowed me to do the early play function, where you can just jump in and play an exhibition game. So it's not a issue with copying data. It's not an issue with the disc reader because there's a difference between the PS4 lasers where you can do both a DVD and a Blu-ray. The game's printed on a Blu-ray disc. I have plenty of Blu-rays that work for the PS4, like just movies, and those work fine. And so it's not an issue with the laser. It's not an issue with anything that I can find. The only thing I can think of is it's either a new issue that's developing with a hard drive that hasn't completely taken over, and this is the first instance of a problem, or it's a issue with the printing of the game. So I don't know though. So I'm going to need to do some more tests.
I would say if worst comes to worst, maybe try to get a different copy of it or something. Maybe
it was the only one that they had. So
yeah, that's the rough thing about physical media nowadays, man. With games and stuff like that, you're not guaranteed you're going to even be able to play it.
Oh no, that's an issue with everything because hard drives, your computer could die, your PlayStation could kaputs, and then it doesn't matter if you're doing physical or digital media, like you're still having issues. So it's going to be an issue with everything for as long as there's things to have issues with. So I just need to do some more research and whatnot and go from there. Maybe I'll be able to.
I hope you get a chance to. I hope you get a chance to play, man, because I got a chance to play and I had a lot of fun with it. So it's a lot. The shortest of the ones that are out there so far.
And I have played Resident Evil 3 and I liked it. That's why I bought it. It was $30. I was like, yeah, sweet. Now I can finally use my frugality to my advantages. But here we are, and this is why I don't get my hopes up with video games because they always disappoint me. Just like relationships. Just like relationships.
Sad but true, man. Sad but true.
Calm down, Eeyore, you cranky fuck. We'll be back next week for another edition of the Game NerdCorp Podcast. One of those is right. Be sure to check us out on the website, realnerdcorp.com, REALNERDCORP.com. We're on Twitter at NERDCORP. We're on Instagram at realnerdcorp. YouTube.com. Search NerdCorp. We're on twitch.tv/realnerdcorp, I think. Or NerdCorp. One of those is right.
He'll get there.
No, he won't. Matt, what are your personals?
You can find me on Twitter at NerdCorp, same and on Twitch.
Was there anything else you wanted to mention before we headed off for the night?
I mean, I watched a few things, but I don't know if it's anything you'd be completely interested in. I did catch a couple things on Disney Plus, latest episode of WandaVision, and I'm actually liking where it's going. I'm quite intrigued to where it's going to end. And I did watch one of these. I'm kind of a sucker for those inspirational sports movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched that one called Safety or whatever. I wasn't familiar with the story. It's about the guy from Clemson or something. I forget his name, but he had to have his brother live with him or something like that due to issues with his family.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a decent enough movie. It kind of falls somewhere between. It's not as, how do I say this? It's not as memorable as something like Remember the Titans, and it's not as funny or entertaining as like Cool Runnings. It kind of falls in between that spot.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I think just like with any other Disney movie, it always plays it super safe and doesn't really go for anything too deep. But it's a good movie for what it was, and I would suggest anybody who likes those types of things to check it out.
We'll be back next Saturday for another edition of this show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. Remember to play more games or watch more. I don't give a fuck what you do. Matt, take us home.
Good night, everybody.